history.com, over 70 million people worldwide struggle with an eating disorder. And I am sick and tired of everyone thinking that I am one of them. Medical.net explains that anorexia is a psychological disorder in which you overdiet or become obsessed with exercising, even though you're already at a low weight. Growing up skinny, I'm used to hearing, do you even eat? Do you make yourself throw up after every meal? Or you're so lucky you're underweight, and many other things. However, the fact that people think these things are okay to ask honestly really upsets me. Making judgments about someone because of their weight can cause serious self-esteem issues. First, I will talk to you about the problems one causes when accusing someone of being anorexic. Then I will explain the different reasons why someone can be so skinny. And lastly, I will tell you about how we can stop this. So now let me tell you about the problems. Body shaming has become a more popular topic in the recent years. In our society, we're used to hearing things in the media about getting shamed for how big they are. There's headlines in magazines such as 260-pound Christy, too fat for sex, or Hollywood's fattest stars. Sickening, I know. But the criticized one gets for being so skinny isn't something most talk about. Although it doesn't seem like it, both men and women are shamed for how small they are. Men are considered unmanly or unathletic if they're thinner than most, and women are accused of not eating if they're too skinny. People don't realize this, but calling someone anorexic because they're skinny is the same thing as calling someone fat because they're overweight. In an article written in the Mirror titled, "I'm sick of being skinny bashed for being a size 6" by other women, the author Allison Palmer says, "People seem to think it's acceptable to tell me I should eat more, or to comment on how lucky I am as I have another slice of cake. But no, this is not okay. Would you tell an overweight person that they should stop eating?" Another problem with accusing someone of being anorexic is that it can lead to low self-esteem. In a newspaper article written in the University Wire in October 2015, the author says, and the problem with skinny shaming, as well as fat shaming, is that it doesn't solve anything, but only increases the problem by increasing insecurities. I remember being in elementary school, and all the boys in my class would tell me I was way too skinny. One boy in particular told me, "You look so skinny, it's honestly pretty gross because you're nothing but bones." That comment hurt me. It hurt me to the point that I stuffed my face with food more than I normally do, in hopes that I would gain weight or put some meat on my body. It never worked, so instead of trying to change my body, I decided to change my mind and tell myself that I shouldn't let these comments offend me. I know I'm not the only skinny person in the world who has experienced this. There are articles upon articles about different girls who have all been shamed for their body. In an article written, for example, in the Telegraph, an article titled, "You look much better with some meat on your arse, my size 0 life of being skinny," the author Zoe Mansell says, "I'm frequently being thin shamed by people who think they're handing me some kind of inverse compliment by telling me how much they hate me because of how I look. Well, I'm fed up with it. It's not fair to accuse someone of having an actual eating disorder just because of how skinny they are. Not all skinny people choose to be skinny, so let me tell you why someone can remain so thin." On helpguide.org, an article titled "Anorexia Nervosa, Signs, Symptoms, Causes, and Treatment," the different ways to determine whether someone is anorexic are explained. Some of the signs are they diet even though they're already thin, they talk about how much they hate their body, or they work out excessively. So one of the reasons someone can remain so thin is because, like in my case, they probably have a really fast metabolism that lets you eat and eat and eat, and your body breaks down the food fast enough and gets rid of everything else. In other words, you poop right away. I can eat all day long, I just never gain the weight because my body works faster than others. Another reason someone can be so skinny is because they probably have a smaller stomach, which causes them to get full quickly. It may seem like the person is eating less, however, they're actually eating as much as they can. Small stomachs are usually more common in shorter people. So I just talked about the causes of why someone can be so skinny. So now let me tell you about the solutions. We should all keep in mind how offensive it is. I've been personally victimized by this, and I know how much words can hurt. And we should all remember that. Body shaming is considered a form of bullying. And according to mentalhealthdaily.com, it states that bullying is one of the biggest reasons a person can commit suicide. Do you want to be that person that makes someone feel so bad about their body, that they think that the only way to feel better is to kill themselves? Let us all take into consideration that none of us are perfect. And instead of body shaming, let's start body praising and encourage others that we are all beautiful in our own skin. Another way we can stop this is by not encouraging certain ads that say things such as only real women have curves and so on. Why would you want to encourage something that can offend so many? Now that you know how harmful it can be to accuse someone of being anorexic, let's finish things off. It's clear to see that shaming someone because of their body can cause serious self-esteem issues. First, I talked about the problems one causes when accusing someone of being anorexic. Then I explained the different reasons why someone can be so skinny. And lastly, I talked about how we can stop this. Skinny shaming isn't as covered in the media as it should be. So before you go out and tell a skinny person they look like they could use a burger, think about it. Would you tell a fat person they look like they could lose weight? I don't think so. Let me leave you with the quote from Kate Radden, a magazine's editor. Some women have curves. Others are going to be tall, thin, short, and everything in between. I may weigh less than you, however, that doesn't make me any less of a person. Let us all be beautiful.